Alright, enough sitting about, let's crack on with the old Cali. But first, let me tell you why I'm doing this here job.
10 years since it was started. Imagine that belt broke. It's not even worth thinking about the carnage. This will be one of the many things to cross off the list to get this old Vauxhall back on the road. Stay with me. It's Things on Wheels. Let me set the scene. You're driving home from work of an evening, minding your merry business, until...
Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Engine ain't playing engine no more. Damn. Sometimes it's a freak accident. Sometimes it's neglect of maintenance intervals. But this is what you'll get. Piston to valve contact. And that ain't good. Best case, in a non-interference engine, change the belt and you're good. But worst case, it's head off to replace the valves. Maybe even a piston, if you're lucky. Or not. Let's go! Let's crack on.
Check this out, my mate got me this from Italy. It's supposed to be made from the lava from Mount Vesuvius. And it's supposed to help with anxiety, so I'm all for it.
Listen, guys and girls, sometimes things can get on top. Stay strong and talk to someone if you're overwhelmed. Remember, good mental health is good mental wealth.
Oh, flaccid. Another thing to change?
The list grows. And these bonnet struts, they need to get in the sea. But for now, mole grips are playing strongman. I used the decorator's pole for reassurance, not looking to get Henry VIII out here. Anyway, the pit crew are here on standby outside, ready for action.
So, spark plugs are going to come out. I'm going to pour a bit of oil down into each cylinder. You'll see why.
Oh, it's beef out on these streets. Starting off by removing the spark plug cables and quickly realising, this is messy work. I drew for the gloves. Make sure you look after yourself. Back to it. Heave. It's no use. The breaker bar got it sorted though. Shouldn't be that damn tight, bro. Nah. Pre-workout done, and these spark plugs are out. They don't look too shabby, all things considered. So now I'm pouring a bit of oil down each bore with the hope that it'll provide a bit of lubrication for when we first rotate the internals. Then it's wheels off. A simple task, you might think.
This needs to come off to get to the jacking point.
And then we jack it up. Nice. Standard procedure. Today's gonna be a good day. First off, that wheel bearing looks like it's toast.
That's not good, we're gonna have to investigate that. The wheel is seized to this hub, so WD-40 to the rescue.
Things are getting a bit spicy and we ain't even got to the main part yet. I hope this ain't a sign. Please. Look at that corrosion. It took me an hour to get that wheel off, no lie. What an experience. Now you can see some of that crud that got between the wheel and the hub. It's called galvanic corrosion. Look it up. When two different metals fuse together in the presence of a conductive solution. In this case, the rain. And we got loads of it over here. This car had plenty.
And there's this movement, look. Let's try and get a better picture, a better video.
We can't let the car roll like that, so this will have to be addressed. Ain't that right, Zosha? So now, I'm going to whip the arch lining off for a better view. But I wish I never did.
Naughty. Another bodge there, that looks like fiberglass. poor repair and it's rusting.
One thing after another.
More to fix.
Spirits are high though. Side shot Saturday for the Club Calibra Massive. Once bitten, twice shy from that wheel. I'm taking no chances on that crank pulley. Proper planning prevents poo-poo performance. Or something like that. Dousing it in WD-40, usually I'd use plus gas, as this is actually a water dispersant, hence the name. But when it's all I've got, it had to do. And it made light work of this. Check it. All this lot should clean up nicely. And that looks like a ballast. Weight saving with 0 bracket to hold it on. The airbox slides right out, giving access to the auxiliary belt.
The path is, it goes down, around that pulley, around the crank, back along, up and over this one.
Now this has to come off to get access to that cam or timing belt. To remove it, you pull back on the tensioner with a spanner and whip it off. Simple, eh?
Not enough room to swing it.
Not that simple.
Hold up.
But we improvise.
Never give up. Ever.
I ain't giving up. No chance. Oh, what's he up to? This is what we're gonna do. Get a bit of threaded bar that I had knocking around. I'll cable tie it a few times just to keep it secure. That should give us the leverage we need to pull back that tensioner. Adapt and overcome. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go, look. It's child's play, brother. Yeah. Unhook the belt from below, as eventually this pulley's gonna come off.
To rotate that, this little pin meets up with a mark on this pulley. Don't be tempted to use a socket, get the proper torques, as you can see there. Moment of truth, see if she spins.
Ooh, like butter, baby. I never had any doubt this would turn over. So let's see about those timing marks. Lined up down here. And it's the same story for each of the cams. Check it. Now this tool here is relatively inexpensive. Its job is to hold the cams still so they don't move when we remove the belt. Fully adjustable and fairly secure. Check it out.
All of these need to come off because the belt is behind it.
Now my choice to use the impact gun was simple. I didn't want to risk jogging the time in doing it by hand. The near instant torque of the gun undoes the bolts with pretty much 0 movement. Know what I mean? That looks like it belongs on the Titanic though. And there's the bottom of the belt. Finally we have access.
Next up, this one, to release the tension on this and then we can remove it.
Now we got to loosen this off carefully. No sudden snatching. We don't want that timing to jump. That would be a ball ache. A big one at that. And there's ones for the recycling. Carefully thread the belt through and discard that shizzle. These idler pulleys pose no threat, but they must be changed for new. That's how we do. And then finally, the water pump. It makes sense to do it if I've gone through all that effort of moving everything around it. Why not? Gentle pry action releases it. The coolant looks so old, it's lost its pigment. Ah, look at that gunk and detritus. One of them odd words, but I might use it more often. Detritus. Fresh things in the box. Belt. idler, another idler, tensioner, and the water pump. The old one had sealant holding it in, another bodge, but let's get that new O-ring on, ready for a tight seal. And with the pathways cleaned, it's time to send it back in, making sure this notch lines up with the casing. Get that wrong, and the old pump would rotate over time, leading to slack tension on the belt, or in other words, end up mashing up your ting. And don't forget to torque to the correct settings and use new bolts on any ones that require more than one stage of tightening. At last, the new belt can get lowered in and threaded around the various pulleys. Now with a small amount of tension on the belt, we had to spin it twice, which makes one full rotation of the cams. This is to ensure nothing is out of whack. Now you didn't think that old relic would go back on the car looking like that? It's not in my nature. It's time to free up that rust. Let's get it gone. Then slap some of this on. It's a rust inhibitor. That'll ensure that nasty corrosion doesn't rear its ugly head again. Might have to cop a lot more of this looking at some of the bits I've seen around the car. Once dry, we hit it up with some primer. Then some lovely satin black for that OEM finish. Yeah. Job's a good un. Now don't be thinking I painted the belt grooves. I got it masked up neatly. See? And before that goes on, the belt has to be tensioned properly by moving the hex part to the right with an Allen key. All good when the pointer lines up with the notch, as seen. Now the pulley can go back on. It's no biggie if this rotates, as the belt is already on and secured. The auxiliary belt can go back on using our patented spanner extender to ease it on. Sorted. And I know it looks threadbare, so that'll get changed in due course. We're getting there. Fresh. Now I can't let that wheel go back on over that detritus. Why a wheel on the ting? I ain't taking no risks. Annoyingly though, I know I'll have to do this with the other wheels at some point. Long.
This can't happen again, so we got good old copper ease.
Did it again, got me on 10, got me on 10.
Now this should prevent the wheel seizing to the hub again. Overkill, I know, but I'm after the easy life. When it's ready to hit the road, we'll keep this just towards the spigot section.
I look better under you, girl, I love you, you my truth.
That's the centre bit.
OJ with that juice, got that magic 32.
The lovely BBS rim will get seated and then bolted.
Check out my phone and you call it again. Pull up outside and you all in the bend. Keeping it up, I don't need the extends. Running it back.
Now let's put the plug back in. Oh wait. I forgot I had this boroscope, so I can actually see what it's like inside the engine cylinders. Proper handy tool this. I'm just hoping everything's good. First cylinders were fine, but then... oh crap. What the hell is that? And look at this. I'm stumped now, because that doesn't even look like a valve. Or does it? I know nothing moved when I did the timing. I even added extra marks on the old belt and then transferred them to the new one, just to be doubly sure. Take a look at the bottom too. I had all the bases covered. can see the timing's spot on. So who knows? Maybe that's why the engine wouldn't start the last time. Your guess is as good as mine though. I guess you'll have to stick around to find out what's cracking inside. Bit disappointing though. All that work. And I'll have to do it again. Damn.
Not good news. We're gonna have to whip the head off now to see what was going on within that cylinder. And I don't think it's gonna be good. Don't forget, look after your mental health. I'm Wayne, this is Tings on Wheels. Bless up.
Got me on 10, got me on 2 doors in my coupe. I look better under you. Girl, I love you, you my truth. The OJ with that juice, got that magic 32. Tell me what you